My dad has completely shut down ever since he found out about our mom's affair. Is there any way I can get through to him? Plus updates. Original post. Our family did a 23andMe test for fun. My parents always had small families and were curious as to their history. It was his idea of a fun family thing, and something everyone could participate in. I, my brother, 21, male, and sister, 25, female, did the test along with my husband and my daughter, 5, female. Things heated up once the results came back since we quickly figured out that not all of us were full-blooded siblings. We had to do a follow-up paternity test on the 3 of us, but those results just confirmed it. Neither my sister nor I are his biological children, nor is my daughter his grandchild. My brother is his only biological kid. It's also been determined that we share the same biological father, but we don't know who he is. He was a guy who lived in the neighborhood, and his family moved more than 20 years ago. I just barely remember him even existing as a kid. To say my dad has not taken this well is an understatement. He stopped talking to any of us outright and sticks to the basement now. Mom has been begging him to come out and talk, but he won't budge at all. He barely comes out to eat and drink whatever little he can. He won't leave the house except for work, he won't call anyone, or answer his phone. He has no one to talk to about this. His family is all gone. His older brother, 63, male, suffered from motor neuron disease and passed away in 2021, which really affected him. I do not want him going through this alone. This has everyone on edge constantly, especially our brother who lives at home while he's going to college. I really want to give him time, but it's been 2 weeks of this since we got the tests done with no improvements. I know I could force him to talk, but I'm worried sick. I'm really sorry this is so long, but I'm desperate to get any advice. Is there any way we can try and get through to him? I know I'm not his biological kid, but I still consider him my father. Edit, I've arranged to have my mother live with her sister for the time being. Dad finally responded to us and asked for more time to process this. He's open to us checking in on him every so often. Reading the top comments before the next update. Am I understanding this right, that the guy found out 2 weeks ago that your mom had an affair with some dude down the street and had him raise 2 kids knowing they might not be his? As bad as that sounds, yes. How's everyone reacting to your mom? I mean, yikes. She's kinda culpable here. I feel really bad for your old man. I hope he knows you all love him and it doesn't matter to you. As for your mom, she's a psychopath. Sorry, but she isn't right in the head. Very poorly. No one has any real sympathy for her situation. We've been trying to get details out of her, but she refuses to elaborate on her affair partner. All she gave us was a name and rough timeline. Get your mother out of the house/his life. If I was in your position, cutting your mother out of your lives in favor of your dad would be step 1. Trying to keep both of them will probably look like you condoning the betrayal. His whole life is fraud. Imagine that you are, let's say, 55 and you basically spent your life in a massive bubble of lies. There is no rewind button, that was it. Add to that all the other betrayal feelings, confusion, loneliness, grief, insecurity, feeling like a cuck, a jerk, a joke. Just give him space and make him aware that he is not alone. I think it might be helpful if your mom could move out for a few weeks, maybe he would be able to talk with you, or at least the boy. And the poor guy has to be wondering how he never saw it and how many other people did and never said a word. Assuming that he truly didn't know, his wife is an absolute psycho. If she can lie about that, she's capable of lying about anything. Sorry, OP, your mom was okay with decades of lies to hide her actions. That's effing gnarly. First update. I'm just posting an update on this. I don't think this would qualify on any other sub, so I'll do it on my profile instead. Dad's finally reached out to speak to everyone and asked for an apology for making us all worry. Obviously, no one had any issue with his shutdown given the circumstances. Good news is that he still loves us and will always consider us all his children. He just never expected to find out that mom had an affair. Like, he would have never thought of the idea at all. In his words, the marriage was really solid. He's pretty shaken still, but open to going out and communicating again. I fully expect him to seek a divorce, but I'm not sure how that's going to pan out with all their finances and assets. The bad news is our mother, who wants to reach out to him, but he's been directing her to us. Her sister got a few details out of her about the affair partner. 1. That it was purely a physical thing, but somehow went on for years at sporadic intervals. Still no idea how it really started. 2. They cut things off when he moved and never spoke to each other ever again. There's been zero contact since, which makes sense. 3. My sister and I not being our father's biological children was not at all planned. Mom raved to her about them using protection. So that's why she never questioned our paternity and went along with the 23andMe. As far as we know, we were all planned children too, so that also explains why she wasn't worried. She really did believe we were all his. We barely ever interacted with this man or his family to my knowledge, maybe just a polite greeting at church or the playground now and then. I still speak to my mother when she calls or asks me to come visit to talk things out, but I've made this clear with my father, who has no issue with it. He's come clean and said he just feels humiliated and angry at her, which is why he keeps the contact to a minimum between them. Mom still thinks she can fix this, but I think she's in denial. As of now, we really aren't happy with how our family has been fragmented irrevocably, all because of her actions. There's still so much I have in mind, but if anyone has any further questions, I'll answer when I have time. Apologies for how long this is too. Reading the top comments before the next update. Are your parents separated at the moment? Your dad needs to stay away from your mother, she's a horrible person. Sorry she put your family in this position. She's staying with her sister at the moment and has been for about a week. Dad is staying with our younger brother, who's making sure he's fine. Are you planning on cutting down contact with your mother at all? I've been taking time away from her as of recently. I find it difficult to speak to her now. Last update. I'm sorry for my absence, but the holidays have been ruined by the discovery of our mother's affair. It wouldn't be appropriate to have everyone gather for our usual Christmas celebrations. As per my dad's request, I elected to just have a smaller Christmas celebration with my husband and daughter. We've still visited him and kept in touch regardless, just to make sure he's doing well. On that front, he's doing better. He still breaks out into fits of crying and sudden bursts of anger, according to my brother. I don't blame him for that. Pretty much everyone thought our parents had an almost dreamlike marriage. In terms of our mom, she finally came clean about the guy. It was a full-on affair between the two, emotional and physical. But the fact that we were his children was not planned at all. She vehemently defends that and always claimed that they were careful to use protection, most likely condoms on his end. It doesn't matter in my opinion. The guy is gone in the wind and they haven't had contact for decades. Coming clean about this now won't save their marriage or our fractured family. I'm just angry at her for destroying our unity and for all the distress she put Dad in. I know people want us to all cut her off. What she did was nasty and cruel. But even our dad hasn't gone so far as to demand that. He's mostly fine with us not mentioning her in his presence. At the very least, he's expressed his desire to divorce through us. Mom seems to have finally processed that she lost him and is taking it hard. So that's going to be our new reality going forward. I'm sorry if this was a slog to go through, and this will be my last post on this account as things hopefully get calmer once the divorce process is officially started. I hope everyone reading my venting has had a wonderful festive season, and I'm wishing you a much better new year than what's going on in my life. Yeah, no crap that she had a full-blown affair. The chances of conceiving not one, but two children as part of an affair that only happened a few times is basically impossible. I'd also say her bullcrap of we use protection is just another level of rubbish she's made up to make herself not look as bad. Your mother is truly a vile and disgusting human. The fact any of you have any contact with her blows my mind. She put your dad at risk of sexually transmitted infections, cheated on him, had him father two children that aren't his, lied for so long, and had a full-blown affair and never came clean. The fact you know this and still contact her makes me feel nauseous. I hope your dad takes everything in the divorce, and I hope he goes after the affair partner for back pay child support. Your mom is just in damage control, she doesn't really care about the hurt caused, otherwise, she would have confessed, which she had 20 years to do. Your dad hasn't asked you to cut her off because he expects you to do this yourselves. Why do you want a relationship with such a deceitful, unremorseful, lying, cheating woman? Because she's my mom doesn't cut it. It shows your poor character to keep her in your lives. What, is she a good role model for your child, a solid grandmother who effed another guy for over 5 years and lied for 20? You want her around giving life advice? I hope your mom is ostracized and dies alone. Truly. What she has done is one of the most disgusting and painful things I can ever imagine. Your dad's life is a lie. Nothing can get his 20 years back. Nothing. Did your dad spend Christmas with you or just by himself? It sounds like your mom has made him feel unworthy of love and he's afraid you feel the same. Is your mom still staying with her sister? It has to be hard reconciling who your mom was versus who you thought she was. Or is. Who knows how many other affairs she's had. We visited him on the day, just for a few hours in the later afternoon. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for strongly opposing a paternity test for my brother? I, 16, male, have recently been dealing with the fallout of finding out that mom had an affair 11 years ago, and that my brother Danny, 10, male, might not be my dad's. They're now getting a divorce, and in the middle of all of this it turns out that dad wants a paternity test for Danny, and if he isn't he doesn't want custody or to support him after he turns 18. I found all of this out because I happen to have been eavesdropping, which is a habit I've had since I was a little kid and clearly a necessary one because neither of my parents can be trusted to make smart decisions. I basically told mom and dad that if they went through with the paternity test and it was negative and dad cut Danny off like he was planning, he would lose me as well. I would oppose living with him after the divorce, I would make any visits absolutely miserable, I would go no contact with him the moment I turn 18, and I would side with mom if I have to testify about anything in the divorce. Dad tried to say that he had to know because symbol of betrayal someone else's kid blah 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 blah. Look, I understand, I really do. But they've told me my whole life to focus on myself and my siblings and let the adults handle the adult problems, so I'm cashing that in. He can work it out himself. He said that I was being unfair and I needed to look at it from his side and not mom's. I told him I'm not on mom's side, I'm on Danny's side. I reminded him that when I was 6 and mom got back from hospital he put Danny in my arms and told me I had to look out for him because I'm his big brother. This is me doing exactly that. Dad offered to do family therapy. I said that that was a great idea, after the divorce is finalized with Danny being treated the same as me and our sister. If he plans on cutting Danny off if Danny turns out to not be his biologically, no amount of therapy is gonna fix that, and no amount of therapy is gonna get me to accept his decision. Best to just not do the paternity test in the first place. The rest of the family is split. Kira, my sister, 14, says that dad has a right to know. The weird thing is that with my grandparents it's actually mom's parents who think everything is best out in the open, and dad's parents who think some questions are best left unanswered. Granddad's words, not mine. Nan reminded dad that he'd been raising Danny for 10 years and is his father in every way who matters no matter whose bits squidged into whose and made him. Basically I'm officially cashing in my worry about yourself and your siblings, not the adults card and focusing on what's best for Danny, not anyone else. Me and him are a package deal, if dad cuts him off, he loses me as well. Once the divorce is finalized and we hit a new normal dad will see reason and will stop being so curious about whether Danny is biologically his, because he's dad's in every way that matters. Am I the a-hole? Edit, to clarify, he's saying he wouldn't want custody of Danny or to support him in any way past 18 when child support would likely end. As in just acting as if the last 10 years never happened and cutting Danny off emotionally and acting like they're strangers and he's not Danny's dad. Additional edit, apparently my understanding of child support isn't complete, which honestly I blame on the fact that the internet is dominated by Americans. Not the a-hole. But your dad does have a right to know. And, frankly, all it would take is for someone in your family to do the 23andMe thing for him to know. It's not what he finds out. It's what he decides to do with that info. Question, is anyone checking in with Danny to see how he is feeling about being the center of all this? Kids blame themselves for stuff totally out of their control, and I think that your entire family needs to spend some serious time making sure he is okay. Nobody's told him there's doubt about his paternity. I don't think anybody's been too specific about the dates involved, though, so I don't think he's put 2 and 2 together yet. Yeah. As a grown-up who is the child with doubtful paternity, please don't think you can pull the wool over Danny's eye on this. I always knew something was off. There were throwaway remarks that made no sense to me, not to mention my dad always treated me a little differently. I used to say I was an alien. I thought I was insane. When I did 23andMe at 30, it all came out and I sobbed my eyes out. I was relieved that there was a reason my dad seemed to just not love me. There was a reason behind all the comments. There was a reason I thought I was crazy. The adults in your life failed you both. It sucks. I had a wonderful big sister who was very like you and tried to protect me from them. In the end, though, it made me question my own sanity because everyone kept telling me it was in my head when it clearly wasn't. Your heart is amazing and you are a great big brother. I'm glad Danny has you. Please, though, be careful to not keep him in the dark longer than necessary. And if, when he's old enough, Danny wants a paternity test, then Danny definitely has the right to one. Also, don't take too much on yourself. I hate how my big sister beat herself up and put it on herself to be the parent when my own failed. She deserved a childhood and so do you. First off, this is some bullcrap that nobody should have to go through. Not you. Not your dad. Not your brother. That being said, your mother did this to your family. Not you. Not your dad. Not your brother. You're out of your mind if you think you should under any circumstances be on your mom's side for whatever reason. She destroyed your family. Also, your dad is going to treat your brother differently if he doesn't know. That's also setting your brother up for pain and suffering too. Don't stop your dad from doing the test because again, if he doesn't know, your brother is going to suffer just the same as if your brother isn't your father's child. Additionally, he has every right to know if that's his kid and you're wrong to get in the way of that. Finally, there's other factors. What if the test gets done and it is his kid? What if the test gets done, it isn't but after some time your dad accepts him? I mean, let's be real, your dad is probably, justifiably, saying some things in anger right now. I know everyone is in pain, but not like him. Dude just literally found out his kid might not be his. Say all the cliche crap about how he raised your brother and should be his dad no matter what, but say that crap after he's had some time to process and grieve his family having been destroyed. You should 100% have your brother's back, but you should also 100% have your dad's back. And to hell with your mother. You are the a-hole for threatening to be in her corner for whatever reason. She destroyed all of your lives,